Good afternoon. A cordial Boalnam son na Holscoile Fáilte Cur Roimh Galéir. Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Professor Brian Nolan, and along with my colleague Celine Crawford, we are the Masters of Ceremonies. And on behalf of the university, we would like to welcome you to today's convocation of Dublin City University, which is about to begin. Today's convocation booklet shows the order of which the ceremony follows. We hope you will take this booklet with you as a souvenir of what is an important and hopefully an enjoyable occasion for graduates, their guests, and for the staff of the university. We celebrate the achievement of every single graduate of the university. We realise, however, that applauding every single graduate as they're presented to the President can be quite tiring. So can I please suggest that instead we pause and give applause at appropriate intervals. If you follow the lead of the Dean, who will be reading out the names, you won't go wrong. In the unlikely event that an emergency evacuation of the building is required, I'd ask you to please note the emergency exit that's nearest to you, bearing in mind that it might be behind you. In the event of an evacuation, please remain calm and comply with the instructions of the stewards and assemble at the assembly point that's in front of the building, in front of the door you came in. I'd ask everyone to check now that all mobile phones are switched off, and I mean that. If you wouldn't mind, just have a quick look. I know you switched it off earlier, but it turned itself back on, you know, the way they do, so maybe just have a quick check to see that's off. We know everyone wants to get a photograph of the big moment, but please, if you wouldn't mind staying seated and don't block the aisles when doing so. So we really hope you enjoy our event today, and I'd be grateful if those who can, please rise when for the DCU anthem when it starts playing. This will be accompanied by Irish Sign Language interpretation from DCU's Sen and Dun. Thank you.
A cheansaléir, a uachtarán na hallscoile, scoláirí na hallscoile, a chéimethe is a chuirde go léir. Ba bhfuil an bhanamhór choróibh chuig an ggógarm seo chun céimeanna agus dúiseanna ollscoil Chathair a bhronne. Chancellor, President, academic colleagues, graduates, honoured guests. My name is Professor Sharon O'Brien, Dean of Graduate Studies, and I would like to welcome you all to today's convocation of degrees and awards by Dublin City University. The Universities Act 1997 vests in DCU the statutory power to grant academic awards which are recognised nationally and internationally. In seeking to maintain our high standards of academic quality, we require students to demonstrate to Academic Council that they have satisfactorily reached those standards before the university will confer an award on them. Ladies and gentlemen, these people who will be presented to the President today have attained high standards of academic performance and are worthy recipients of our degrees, certificates, and diplomas. The ceremony has two functions. The first is the formal presentation of graduates for degrees and awards. The Executive Dean of Faculty will present each graduate to the President, and the Chairperson of his or her Programme Board will formally bear witness and congratulate the new graduate on behalf of the Board. The second function is less solemn and concerns the celebration of a period in the life of the graduate here at DCU, where I hope they had some fun and made good friends at the same time as achieving wonderful academic success. Anish, bawahlam na daoine eile anseo a chur uair láthair. I would like to introduce to you my colleagues who will be involved in the ceremony. To the rear are academics, guests, members of Academic Council, members of Alumni Council, and members of the Governing Authority. To the front are Bríd Horan, Chancellor of DCU, Professor Dara Keogh, President of DCU, and Philomena McMorrow, Director of Registry. To your left are the Executive Deans of the faculties of the university or their representatives. To your right are the chairpersons and academic coordinators who direct the programs from which graduates are being presented today. Today, we are delighted to welcome graduates of taught and research programs from the Faculty of Science and Health, including for the first time, graduates from the degree of Master of Science in Child and Family Health and Wellbeing. Tá áthas Bríd Horan, Chancellor na Hullscoile agus Cathaoirleach Coiste Ceannis na Hullscoile a chur in aithne díobh. Firstly, I have great pleasure in introducing Bríd Horan, Chancellor of the University and Chairperson of the Governing Authority.
Thank you, Sharon. Is it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, afternoon, everyone. Uachtarán na hallscoile a chomhlachtaithe agus a chairde go léir, thar ceann údarás ceannis Oscail Chathair Bhlach Clia bhuailm buchas a gháil libh as spelling don ócáid speisialta seo. President, colleagues and graduates, on behalf of the university's governing authority, welcome to the Helix on this really special occasion. I'd like to extend a particularly warm welcome to our graduates' guests, their friends and family. These are the people who supported you on your remarkable journey. So they're the people in the expensive front rows here, people up in the gods, and even some people behind me. I'll give you a wave. That's about all I'll see of you, I'm sorry. So as I said, these are your supporters. And speaking of supporters, I probably should mention that I had some help preparing this speech. My husband, John, is my greatest supporter, but he's also quite a good editor and sometimes a bit critical. I have to say, if he had his way completely, the speech would be a bit shorter. But look, some things need to be said on an occasion like this. And first thing that I must say is that it's a great honour for me to stand here alongside the passionate and dedicated leaders of DCU, the people on this stage, together with the broader DCU community, the academics, the professionals, and all of the staff, work tirelessly to support our students and strive to make their time at DCU both enriching and, as Sharon said, enjoyable. So I hope you all share my gratitude to everyone in DCU for creating an innovative and inclusive learning environment where everyone has the opportunity to flourish regardless of background or personal challenges. It is their commitment and the university leadership which has made DCU a beacon of excellence in higher education, not only in Ireland, but also on the world stage. On that note, I'm delighted to mention that DCU was just recently ranked among the top 400 universities in the world in the prestigious Times Higher Education World University Rankings. Top 400 sounds good when you realize that there are over 10,000 universities in the world. I think it sounds really good. Also this month, and you may have noticed this as you came in through the Collins Avenue entrance, our newest building comes into use. It's currently named the Polaris Building and will accommodate over 3,000 STEM students. That's science, technology, engineering and maths. And also DCU's School of Health and Human Performance. So it's a good name at the moment, Polaris, the North Star. But just in case there's any of you that are particularly wealthy, either through your corporation or personally, talk to us if you're interested in having your name on a building. We're always open to offers. On a serious note, though, congratulations are due to the many people who made these achievements happen, and particularly to our president, Professor Dara Keogh. Now, you will be hearing from Dara towards the end of the ceremony, and I'm pretty confident he will mention some other great achievements. So the graduation ceremony can seem a bit formal, a bit kind of solemn. The academic procession, the gowns. I have a particularly fancy one. I don't get to keep it, but it is particularly fancy. The anthem, which is a beautiful piece of music, and all the formalities. But they are important because they reflect the significance of the occasion. And as Sharon said, graduation day is a blend of this formality as well as lots of celebrating. A day to recognize and honor your hard work and achievements. And we're privileged to share that celebration with you because we're proud of every one of you. So as we gather here on this memorable day for you, I checked to see what other memorable events happened around this time in history. And I was particularly struck by the fact that this week marks the 79th anniversary of the coming into being officially of the United Nations. Given the turmoil and suffering that we're witnessing in so many parts of the world, of which we hear most from Ukraine and the Middle East, but we all know that there's turmoil and suffering in many other parts of the world. So it's a timely reminder when we think about the UN, of the fragility of peace in any region and the importance of international cooperation. And thinking about current challenges, I'm going to take a bit of a risk now and go a little bit political. I guess we all know now there's going to be a general election before the end of the year. Surprise, surprise. Aren't we all surprised? So I won't dwell too long on this, but I do want to ask each of you who may well be asked for their vote in the coming weeks. When you get that opportunity, please do mention the importance of investing in one really important aspect of our national infrastructure, our higher education system. This is a vital investment, not just in our young people, but in our society and in our economy. And while we welcome some recent commitments in the budget, the fact is that the overall higher education system remains financially stressed, and further increases in core funding year on year are really badly needed. So, if you're looking for something to talk to the politician on the doorstep, there is an issue that I'd like you to mention. And by the way, in response to a question in the last year or so, a leading politician, when asked why higher education is so important, everybody knows it's important, but it's not getting the investment that they know is needed. And his answer was very simple: it never comes up on the doorstep. So there's a challenge for you all. Change it and bring it up on the doorstep. On a lighter note, I also found that this Friday marks World Pasta Day. I'm guessing you didn't know that. Every day you come to DCU, you learn something new. So that's your takeaway for today. So this day was first designated as World Pasta Day in 1998 by the rather grandly titled World Pasta Congress. You didn't know about that either, I'm guessing. Anyway, in 1998, and I'm certainly old enough to remember, pasta wasn't quite as important in the Irish diet or on the shopping list as it is today. In any event, whatever other notable days are being marked this week, this day is your graduation day, a day to celebrate with joy and pride. And like a great pasta dish, savor every moment, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Because to get here to today, you overcame your own individual challenges, and we know that they were many. But then along came COVID-19, unprecedented upheaval and complexity in every aspect of our lives, but particularly perhaps affecting teaching and learning, and certainly affecting those of you who worked and who do work in the health service, such important work. And in the face of all that, you continue to show remarkable strength and resilience. So as you accept your parchment today, be aware that this is marking a new chapter for you, as it were. And I've no doubt that in that new chapter, you will continue to excel in all aspects of your professional and personal lives, armed with the skills and knowledge that you've acquired at DCU, along with your own personal resilience. So you join the DCU alumni community, perhaps not for the first time, and as such, you join a group that has a responsibility. That responsibility is to stay true to DCU's mission, which is to transform lives and society. And you do that by making a positive impact on the world around you, wherever you are. It might sound like a big ask, but when you remember that there are over 100,000 DCU alumni around the world, if every one of those makes a difference, however small, that's a powerful force for change. No pressure, but we are expecting great things from you. As well as those achievements, do cherish the friendships and connections that you've made through DCU. That community, the DCU community, will always be there to support you. So today marks the culmination of a lot of hard work, so do celebrate yourself. Embrace the future with confidence, believe in yourself, you're well equipped to succeed. Cogorda Socríliv Galer, August Gunari live in Snablianta Talmach Rowing. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Chancellor. Candidates from the Faculty of Science and Health will now be presented by the Executive Dean, Professor Bláthnaid White.
President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the Certificate in Peer Support Working in Mental Health. Wendy Burke. Eva Lally. Marie McGrath. Carmel Murphy. Gavin Murphy. Isabel Neenan. Imelda O'Connor O'Dea. Julianne Sweeney. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Bachelor of Science in Athletic Therapy and Training. Caoimhe Blake. Kevin Bowen. Ciara Bryan. Alexander Creedon. Andrew Cummins. Dylan Cusson. Niamh Deely. George Downer. Claire Dunn. Roisin Ennis. Caoimhe Galvin. Conal McGovern. John Maguire. Emma Morrissey. Kate O'Neill. Katie Penrose. Josh Piper. Conor Quigley. Ryan Smith. Aramide Solanka. Mafti Una Timur. Benjamin Taylor. Victoria Young. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology. Damilola Adesina. Alex Agbonifo. Cormac Connolly. Maximilian de Medici, David Ducey, Anne-Marie Effemway, Adam Paul Greenhalgh, Colm Carnes, Matthew Leach, Maeve Eileen Marr, Ava Marin, Ciara McDermott, Conor Moore, Cliona O'Connor, Latana Kennedy Ogbazor, Latifu Olayinka Olenwaju, Juwon Otanuji, Leah Parkinson, Julia Rakovica, Niamh Rice, Cathal Sherlock, Grania Skelton, Mark Toot, Samuel Veach, David White. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Bachelor of Science in Genetics and Cell Biology. Marta Albin, Ronan Allen, Aoife Byrne, Olua Fadukemi Bello, Maria Bradley, Aaron Brennan, Rebecca Broy, Sarah Ellen Connolly, Anna Cook, Grania Cooling, Emily Crawley, Tegan Darcy, Cian Ennis, Dana Gogarty, Roisin Grehan, Rachel Hegarty, Holly Horgan, Saoirse Kenny, Shauna Lavery, Anne Quinlay, Isabel Lynch, Melissa McCarthy. Patricia Mert. Kate Mulhall. Cian John Mulligan. James Adam Murphy. Aaron Nye. Scott O'Donovan. Medina Adeola Odoledi. Sally Owens. Therese Redmond. Agna Rusakite. Patrick Soda. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Bachelor of Science in Health and Society. Kemi Comfort Atanda. Niamh Bambrick. Lucia Banotzits. Adela Bakayu. Ella Butler. Molly Butler. Kiva Elizabeth Byrne. Niamh Byrne. Kaylin Callery. Kiva Carberry. Muireann Lynch. Laura Christa. Sophie Eustace. Kate Everard. Rachel Garvey. Ciara Gillespie. Caitlin Garrell. Robert Gray. Melissa Hart. Annie Joyce. David Keating. Rebecca Kennedy. Aoife Lawler. Anjola Olawa Lawal. Sinead Markey. Susan Marmion. Grace McAvenue. Chloe McGowan. Kyla McGowan. Ellen Ann McKeown. Eve Murphy Donnellan. Isabel Neary. Niamh Ní Mhórán. Megan O'Donoghue. Sarah Riley. Claire Rigney. Alicia Stewart. Judith Oye. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physical Education with Biology. Diarmuid Barry. Tara Callahan. Grania Clerkin. Ellis Mary Conway. Conor Corbett. Tara Doyle. Leah Dwyer. Diarmuid Galway. Lauren Gilligan. Roisin Gilsonan. Aoife Guinan. Erin Hamill. Cian Harkin. Ava Hickey. Sean Jones. Elena Kenny. Aoife Kilcummins. Niamh McCormack. Anya Kathleen McGroarty. Leachra O'Fionavon. Aisling O'Reilly. Aoife Rattigan. Sive Sutton. Aaron Martin Tolan. Amy Trioli. Shane Walsh. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physical Education with Mathematics. Kieran Brennan. Killian Byrne. Seamus Og Byrne. Lauren Callahan. Peter Campbell. Jessica Catt. Kyle Connolly. James Gerard Cooper. Kerry Costello. Chloe Darby. Jack Flynn. Katie Gary Murphy. Nicola Gibson. Ronan Grimes. Ava Harrington. Sean Harkin. Sean Patrick Joyce. Catherine Breed Kavanagh. Kiva Lawless. Brian Linehan. Cara Marr. Kate McCarthy. Diarmuid McLaughlin. Paul Morgan. Kate Murphy. Niall Murphy. Shane Patrick O'Donnell. Niamh O'Neill. Ben O'Toole. Zara Power. Daniel Reynolds. Thomas Dillon Smith. Niall Smullen. Matthew Thompson. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Bachelor of Science in Sports Science and Health. Emma Alcock. Robert Bennett. Aoife Bergen. Emily Cahill. Nicholas Joseph Callan. Maëlle Aurore Lucy Canquet. Taig Carroll. Niamh Coleman. Katrina Comerford. Jonah Dunn. Aileen Fanning. John Foley. Lauren Haggerty Finney. Conor Hanley. Jack Horan. Thomas Kennedy Doolan. Alicia Capico. Sarah Lavin. Poppy Jean Maguire. Isabel McCarville. Matthew McNally. Cueva Ann McPeak. Megan Bridget Moyna. Luca Murphy Johnson. Aaron O'Neill. Daniel Sean O'Sullivan. Aoife Rennick Hughes. Thomas Rimkus. Orla Smith. Dara Travers. Ruby Udell. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Master of Science in Health and Social Inclusion. Carrie Bright. Ethel Mataruzzi. Tracy McDade. Aoife Cahill. Adriana Quinn. Noelle Woods. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the Graduate Certificate in Sexuality Education and Sexual Wellbeing. Sinead Collins. Lorraine Keneally. Joanne Corey. Ainoa Foley Aguies. Emily Goss-Gildee. Sarah Hennebury. Jenny Larkin. Jessica Larkin Joyce. Rebecca Last. Aoife McCormick. Roisin O'Connell. Michelle O'Riordan. Katie Smith. Linda Smith. Aoife Toner. Laura Tully. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Master of Science in Elite Sport Performance. Stephanie Brennan. John Buckley. Alex John Burns. Dara Feely. Stephen Gray. Ross Kenny. Jason McGuinness. Sean Moore. Sasha Angel Rickon O'Leary. President, I present the following candidate who has successfully completed the Graduate Diploma in Psychotherapy, Rory Curran. President, I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the degree of Master of Science in Psychotherapy. Anne-Marie Bennett. Neil Brady. Anne-Marie Cohen. Gemma Collins. Katie Collins. Nicola Fannin. Lisa Farrell. Matthew Flanagan. Deirdre Hogan. Yvonne McWay. Eileen O'Sullivan Pierce. Anya Walsh. I present the following in child and family health and well-being. Emma Fogarty. Ola Nagutsul. Maura O'Donoghue. Sandra O'Reilly. Suzanne Smith. Moira Toomey. President, I present the following candidates who successfully completed the degree of Master of Science in Nursing Advanced Practice. Mariam Al-Harbi. Munira Al-Dasari. Hanan Al-Wahidi. Hannah Al-Wasawi. Manar Nasser Al-Otaibi. Shada Al-Rashidi. Munira Al-Shahanri. Munira Bubsheed. Samar Mohammed. President, I present the following candidates who've successfully completed the degree of Master of Science in Specialist Nursing for Future Healthcare. Bibi Babu. Christine Corcoran. Orla Courtney. Creedon. Nicole Curran-Tobin. Chloe Delaney. Therese Dignan. Claude Fitzhenry. Danielle Freeman. Cara Gallagher. Minnie Mull George. Shauna Ho. Leila Hyland Kinsella. Sauna Jacob. Sharon Gijo. Siobhan Keane. Sarah Lowry. Audrey Lynch. Susan Murphy. Rosaline Olufemi Adewole. Niamh Ryan. President, I present the following candidates who've successfully completed the Professional Diploma in Clinical Supervision. Ruth Atchison. Michelle Byrne. Trina Byrne. Kondar Raj. Lisa Gannon. Patricia Hurley. Morgan Lucy. Deirdre McDonough. Audrey Moore. Ailish Neville. Caroline Nolan. Michelle Parsons. Deirdre Redmond.
Tá áthas an inis, fáilte a chur, raibh céimethe a bhfuil céimeanna taide le brunna orthu. We are now pleased to welcome our graduates for research degrees. Each candidate has pursued their degree through research and has fulfilled the requirements laid down by the Academic Council of the University. Professor Blonard White will present the candidates from the Faculty of Science and Health for postgraduate degrees by research.
President, I present the following candidate who has successfully completed the Master of Science programme through research in the School of Biotechnology. Maria Giannulli. President, I present the following candidates who successfully completed the Doctor of Philosophy programme through research in the School of Biotechnology. For a thesis entitled Multi-Drug Therapies, the Pharmacodynamic Interactions and the Role of MicroRNAs in Pancreatic Cancer Models, Taylor Jade Allen Coyle. For a thesis entitled Investigating the Immunomodulatory Effect of Novel Fermentates for the Development of a Functional Food Ingredient for the Management of Inflammatory Bowel Disorders and Support Against Viral Infection, Dervla Finnegan. For a thesis entitled Development and Optimization of a Microbial Fermentation from Media Selection to Pilot Scale Production, Helena Mylise Sorensen. President, I present the following candidate who has successfully completed the Doctor of Philosophy programme through research in the School of Health and Human Performance. For a thesis entitled A Pathway to Understanding Running-Related Injuries, Aisling Lacey. President, I present the following candidate who has successfully completed the Doctor of Philosophy programme through research in the School of Nursing, Psychotherapy and Community Health. For a thesis entitled The Invisible Minority, a biographical narrative study of gay men's stories of intimate partner violence, Aisling Callan. President, I present the following candidates who successfully completed the Doctor of Psychotherapy programme through research in the School of Nursing, Psychotherapy and Community Health. For a thesis entitled An Exploration into Counsellors' Experience of Working with Student Suicidality in Irish Higher Education Institutions, an Interpretive Phenomenological Analysis, Joseph Donoghue. For a thesis entitled Holding the Contentious Balance, a grounded theory study of how child and adolescent psychiatrists and psychologists consider child trauma in disorder diagnosis with children and young people in Ireland, Joy Winterbottom.
As graduates, it is appropriate that I now introduce you to our Director of DCU Alumni Relations, Ross Munnelly.
Good evening to all our graduates, parents, family members, and friends. Today is a special day for our graduates because some have joined the alumni community for the first time, and others who have graduated previously are reinforcing their connection with the alumni community. In each case, you will continue your lifelong journey with DCU. Your community has over 110,000 fellow graduates who will provide a support network for life across many different career sectors located all over the world. Our promise is to provide a mutually supportive relationship with you from now, throughout your career, and into retirement, where you can avail of many engagement opportunities depending on your stage in life. In today's convocation booklet, you will see a QR code on the final pages. By scanning this in the coming days, you can update your details to ensure we can keep you up to date with all the latest news and opportunities here at DCU. Now, it is time to hear from members of our global alumni community who, like you, crossed this very stage and who remain connected to the university through many different volunteering opportunities. We hope that you will too. Keep in touch.
Today marks not an end,
but the beginning of a lifelong supportive relationship.
As you step through the doors of DCU,
you are stepping into a new world.
A world of opportunity.
A world of hope and aspiration.
A world of new and exciting adventures.
And it is not a journey you will be walking alone.
We have shared experience.
We have walked these same halls,
danced on the same stage,
and donned the same caps and gowns.
We are innovators,
industry leaders,
and professionals across continents
and across countless disciplines and careers.
We are inventors,
creators,
educators,
and storytellers.
We provide a platform for the next generation
and help to transform society at home
and abroad.
So, as you step across that stage today,
you are stepping into a community.
Your community.
Led by fellow graduates
with a global network of support.
A community of friends,
colleagues, and supporters
shaping the world around us.
We are DCU alumni.
This is your network, and now is your time to join us.
Torhi Uchteran Oscail Charvalia Lia an Talamh Dara Keogh Ahish Anish. The President of Dublin City University, Professor Dara Keogh, will now make his address.
Thank you very much, Sharon. It's fantastic to be here this afternoon, and congratulations to everybody who graduated. I'd just like again to reiterate the Chancellor's welcome. It's wonderful to be here in the Helix. Again, just some of our people on the podium. I'd like to welcome the members of the governing authority to whom I report. I have to keep them on side, but probably the most important is Aoife is there, the Vice President of the Students' Union. So we certainly need to keep the Students' Union on side. So you're very welcome, Aoife. It's great to see two members of the Alumni Council are with us. But the biggest welcome goes obviously for our graduates and for your families who are with you this afternoon. It's wonderful to have you here. Today is a very special occasion for you and for us. In some ways, it's a bit like the birthday party of the university. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate ourselves and to celebrate our purpose, what we're about. And we're about, obviously, the success and the education of our students, but also, as you will have seen from the dissertations, the importance and quality of our research as well. It's lovely to see people who have travelled to be with us today. I noticed some friends are here from India. I was pleased to see them. The people from Pakistan as well, people from as far away as Kerry. There are people obviously from Nigeria. You will have spotted a cohort from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia who passed across earlier. I'm always pleased to see students from Romania. And I think it's fair to say, give yourselves a clap, the Romanians. The Romanians make an enormous contribution to the university in so many regards, on the staff as academics or professional or support staff, so they're hugely important to us. Anybody I forgot? Anybody even further? Where have we got? Croatia. Did you say Croatia? Oh, very good. The Croatians, excellent. Swords. And there's a few Southsiders there, I think. Yeah, big cheer from the Southsiders. And congratulations to them. They have really gone above and beyond. This is this is Captain Kirk stuff, you know. This is going really to the final frontier. You know, they have crossed 3 rivers to be here, the Dodder, the Liffey, and the Tolka. And better again, they have passed 2 universities on the way. So can I congratulate you for your discernment and your wise choice. It's a very exciting day, a special day, full of excitement and gratitude. When we're sitting on this side, you've got the advantage that you can see all the joy as the students pass across, the bright eyes, the broad smiles, and the high heels as they levitate from here to that side there. You will have seen to a special group the PhD students, our doctoral students, who were the ones wearing in red, who were engaged in incredible pursuits. The reason they're in red is that their gear was designed by Marvel. They're kind of superheroes, and their superpower, I think, in a lot of cases is perseverance, just sticking with the problem and finding the solution. So congratulations to them. You will have heard a lot of rowdiness at one point, and that's because there were 5 students who graduated today, are students who work here in the Helix. So that was all their companions practicing for the pantomime that will open here next month. So congrats to all the Helix staff. And also there were a significant number of children of staff who graduated. Now they're the ultimate kind of quality assurance for us. I won't identify them, but you'll have spotted the parents kind of purring away as their children passed in front of them. The main point, and all of you know this, that the path to graduation is never really as straight as people make it out. Life gets complicated and throws all kinds of things in your way that you couldn't imagine. We'd never imagined the COVID pandemic, for instance, but I think the pandemic in some regards pales into insignificance when you think of people with families and babies and changes and all kinds of things that happened. And on the subject of the pandemic as well, I think it is important that we shout out and acknowledge all the healthcare workers in the room today who contributed so significantly to society in that crisis. So as I say, however you got here, and some of you got here against the odds, today is your day and we're here to celebrate you. And I know that as a group, and I know that as a group that most of you are very demure, very mindful, some of you are cutesy, but can I ask you please to go against your natural inclinations and to give yourselves a massive, massive round of applause. I keep knocking bottles of water down from under the podium here. I'm going to do an Alex Ferguson on it and kick it up to the back of the auditorium at some point. But I think that you must be the most self-satisfied group we've had, would you think? That we've had so far. But just to kind of take you down a little bit, that this achievement today is not just about yourselves. Despite what you think, you wouldn't be here today without the support of your backroom team. And I think in some ways today is their day. So I'm thinking about your parents, your guardians, your partners, your family, your friends. These are people who backed you up. They're people who listened to you. They're people who loved you. People who revoluted you, all of those. They're the people who got you here. So can I just ask you please you've really raised the decibels for yourself, but see, can you do even better for your backroom team, okay? Well, that sounds great, and it says only one thing to me, that they'll be picking up the tab for the meal this evening. And I'm very conscious too, and this is, I suppose, a sad side of it, that I know that for several families here today, that this celebration is tinged with a certain sadness when you think of people who aren't with us, who should be. So we'll just pause for a second to think about absent friends. So today is also a chance for me, and I hope for you, to thank our staff, our wonderful staff here, the academics who are here on the podium, but more than that, the professional staff and support staff across every aspect of the library, every aspect of the university, including the library, the technicians and so on, the estates team, everybody who's worked to guide you to this kind of greatness today. And I'd like to thank the people who made this party possible, the events team, registry, alumni, the Helix staff, estates, all the volunteers in the Helix, the people who are outside icing cupcakes as we speak. So can I ask you to give them a big round of applause? One of the things that's really striking, and when you go home after that celebration this evening, if you take out the little libretto again and just open it and look at the range of programs, the range of awards that students have received or graduates have received this afternoon, it's a real indication of the kind of attunement of the university and our students to the needs of society. And it's an indication too of the huge impact that they will have throughout their lives. It's good too, as Sharon said at the outset, the way in which we continue, and this faculty in particular keeps kind of renewing its programs to kind of ensure that societal needs are not just met but anticipated. So again, we've had the first graduating cohorts from the MSc in Child, Family Health and Wellbeing, which is hugely important to us at the moment, and also the MSc in Specialist Nursing for Future Healthcare, which will concern us all. Today, I think that you can be proud as graduates of the faculty and the university of your achievements and of your alma mater here. The Chancellor has instructed me to boast about the university, and I'm happy to do so. That's in my job title. DCU is one of the great kind of young universities in Europe and the world. As she pointed out, we've risen in the Times Higher rankings to the top 400. In fact, we're very close to 350 in the world. And of the young universities, and I'm practicing for the panto here, I'm kind of trying out for a part. I'm hoping it'll be the prince, not a villain, but certainly not a panto dame. But I'm trying out, so you need to help me. So of the Times Higher young universities in the world, DCU is ranked number 59. Again, given the numbers, is really significant. But guess where we rank in Ireland? Number? Come on. Come on, number 1. Okay, well done on that. And another piece of useless information is that the Central Statistics Office count the earning power of graduates. And of all the universities in Ireland, and I know that people from outside will think that this is a mistake, but in all the universities in Ireland, the graduates with the greatest earning power at the end of year 1 and again at the end of year 10 is... Exactly, that's yourselves. So again, if you don't pick up the tab tonight, remember a plate of pasta on World Pasta Day is an option on Friday. But as I say, you can particularly proud have been a graduate of the Faculty of Science and Health, and the trajectory is up, and it's really plain to see that looking on. The last year, for instance, they launched the new Life Sciences Institute under the direction of Professor Anne Pearl McDermott. They will bring together the university's expertise in the life sciences in a single collaborative, coherent unit with shared resources to make huge impact there. It's the way forward. And again, we've just launched a new institute called the RAPID Institute, R-A-P-I-D, not RAPID, RAPID, okay, the RAPID Institute. And we imported a leader for that, Professor James Landers, who's joining us from the University of Virginia, And what they will do is work with the Fraunhofer Institute in Aachen, and they will lead out for us and for Ireland on cutting-edge research in the development of diagnostics and health monitoring devices. That's exciting. And again, during the Olympics in the summer in Paris, you will have seen a significant number of students and staff from Science School of Health and Human Performance supporting our athletes in Paris. All of that is really positive. So as I say, we're proud of these achievements, but my greatest boast is in yourselves, that we can boast about our graduates. I'm really proud of you, not just of your achievements, but I'm proud of what you will achieve in the future. Our mission here in DCU is well known. Everybody knows it. I won't ask everybody to recite it at some stage. Maybe at the end I will. But the mission of the university is to transform lives and societies. That's what we say that we do. That's our purpose, and that's why we spring out of bed every day. And that transformation happens here on campus. It happens in the lecture theatres, in the labs, in the library, on the playing fields and social contexts. But it doesn't stop here, but it continues. It continues on and on and on. As Ross's kind of video has demonstrated, we really make our biggest impact through our graduates, through the waves that have gone before you and the impact that you will make on society. And I think that what sets DCU graduates apart is your attitude and your character. I like to think of our graduates as rounded and grounded. So grounded themselves, grounded in their discipline, and rounded people, attractive people. And the feedback we get from employers reflects that, certainly. And this summer I visited in Charleston, South Carolina, a group of our interns who were there, and kind of typically American, they had them summed up immediately. And the supervisor said they were not like other university students, but that ours were self-starters, self-possessed, and devoid of entitlement. Now, I couldn't put it better myself, and that's what we hope for in our students. And I hope that the word kind of entitlement has no place in your vocabulary at all. We must banish that any sense of entitlement from our lexicon. And only last week I heard Martin Naughton, the engineer and entrepreneur who was awarding kind of scholarships to students, including a number coming our way, 3 to the university here. And Martin said that his advice to the students was, no matter what you achieve in life, no matter how successful you become, always remain nervous, remain nervous. And I think that that's the whole point, not entitled, but nervous and hungry, anxious to move on to the next thing. And that's really important for us, because your parchment is a statement of where you are. Your parchment is a statement of what you've achieved. I remember when I was learning to drive, the driving instructor, I said to him, when is the 5th gear for? And he said, that's for when you get your test. You know, as simple as that. That's for when you get your test. And in a sense, the parchment has you ready now to be launched onto the world. But it's not that parchment, although it helps, that sets you apart. It's your personality, it's your attitude, it's that kind of hunger, I suppose, the way you approach things. And why does that matter? Well, it matters because the world needs people like you more than ever. More than ever. And I think one of the things about the post-COVID world is that just when we were returning to what we thought would be the new normal, everything gets thrown up in the air again. So we have the war in Ukraine, the war in the Middle East. And it's just to pause for a second to think about the Middle East, because Gaza has been literally reduced to a hell on earth. And the violence there has spread to the Lebanon, threatening the whole region. So it's important that today that we reiterate our call for a lasting ceasefire in the region in Gaza and an immediate release of the hostages there. And climate change too has reduced the earth to a tinderbox with appalling consequences. Famine has swept across much of the world. You know, 10% of the world's population will go to bed hungry tonight, 10%. And millions more people have been driven from their homes in search of a future for themselves. And the sad part is that across the so-called developed world, that societies are becoming increasingly polarized by very corrosive political discourse. And we needn't look west or look east and feel smug. Ireland, the land of saints and scholars, is no better, and Ireland is not immune. And in the last year, we've seen a very significant erosion of social cohesion here in the capital and beyond. So the world has never needed graduates more than it needs you. People with your attitudes, people with your skills, people with your creativity, people who will innovate, people who are adaptable, people who are critical thinkers, and people who will address the huge challenges that we face. People who will embrace the massive potential of artificial intelligence, for instance. And I know that at moments like this, if we paint this kind of scary scenario for all of us, there's a real danger that we can retreat into our shell, or that we can become crippled by the most negative of emotions. And those, I think, are really, on the one hand, you've got complacency, on the other side, despondency. In terms of despondency, we can say, oh, the problems of the world are just too big, they're beyond resolution. And then on the complacent side, we can say, well, they're certainly too big for me to make a distance. But we can't be passengers. We can't be simply bystanders. We need to be active. And remember that just as the great problems of the world are man-made, so too the solutions will come from humanity itself. And again, the solution to these problems, the future of the world, will not be shaped necessarily by the big world leaders or by the prophets, people like Nelson Mandela or Greta Thunberg. That the real change, the future, will not just be navigated, but shaped by people like yourselves, ordinary individuals, ordinary people like us, you and me, that we will make a difference. And one of the books that has influenced me most was a fairly simple read. It's written by a Harvard business professor, a lady called Hermina Ibarra. And it's called Act Like a Leader, Think Like a Leader. And many of you will have read it, and many of you will, I'm sure. Now, I won't do her justice in 50 seconds describing the content of her book. I don't want to spoil it for you either. But she develops an elaborate theory that she calls Outsight. And what I took away from it is that sense that you don't have to be the leader to be a leader. And that's important, because leadership is not an office. Leadership is an attitude, it's a disposition. And her advice is that we should display leadership wherever we find ourselves. So what she says, don't be overthinking it. Don't be thinking about, wait until I get an opportunity to lead. Her point is to literally strike now and make a difference. So there's no point in feeling sorry that your bosses never see your leadership potential if you've displayed none of it around you. So she says, get on with it. So take charge of your own situation. It's about showing your circle what you're capable of. It's about demonstrating to others that you can make the world a better place. So what does that look like? It's about kind of plunging yourself into new projects. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone. It's about volunteering, whether that's with the GAA or the Vincent de Paul or wherever we find ourselves. It's about putting challenges your way, interacting with different kinds of people, experimenting with new ways of doing things. It's about showing that you can step up and you will shine and stand out in that regard. And remember that leadership is not an office. Leadership is an attitude. And I know I see there's a woman down here and she's saying, that sounds fine. That is certainly out of a Harvard book. But how does that work in theory? I'm sure most people, if I said hands up, I won't say hands up because I'm coming between you and the cupcakes. If I asked you, can you think of people who displayed those skills? And I know you could say that they would. But I'll give you a little example close to home and on this stage. Later this week, DCU will confer 2 honorary doctorates. That's the highest award a university can make. And we confer those awards on people who will be inspiring to our students and reflect our values. The first of them is on the Chief Justice of Ireland, Justice Donal O'Donnell, who's an exceptional man. And his citation reads that no judge has contributed more to the development and the refinement of the constitutional doctrine in Ireland than he has. That's very clear. That's a big achievement in his professional career. And so he's a public figure, and his title suggests that. But the second awardee is less well known, but no less impressive. And she's a lady that I'm sure nobody here knows, a lady called Pat Kavanagh, or Patricia Kavanagh. And according to her citation, she's a transformer on our doorsteps. So who is she? Well, she's a native of Cabra. She's a woman who left school at the age of 11 and who went on then to transform the lives of thousands and thousands of young people in Ballymun through her work there as a community leader and a champion of education. Now, she's a real leader. She's somebody not on the podium, not in the limelight, not in a national office, but somebody who has led from behind, somebody who has dedicated her life to building up young people, and as a consequence, creating flourishing, welcoming, and inclusive societies around her. Now, both of these, I would say, are DCU types. That's why we honour them, because it's not just celebrating them, but as I say, holding the two up as an example to others. But what do they have in common? And they have an interesting thing in common. Justice O'Donnell obviously is renowned because he works, in fact, he leads our courts. Patricia, in fact, began her career as a cleaner in her teens in the Four Courts. So he is the Chief Justice, and she began as a young teenager cleaning those courts. But in that position, she demonstrated leadership too. She lifted herself up. She went back to college and established herself as a distinguished youth volunteer or leader in our community. That's exceptional. And in that situation, we can see very clearly that both of them led from where they were at. They didn't wait to be promoted, but they made their future. They led in those circumstances. And I think that both of those, in a way, could be case studies in a future edition of Ibarra's book, demonstrating what leadership looks like. Now, my hope is that in 20 years' time, or maybe even sooner, that the same will be said of you. That I hope that in 10 or 15 years' time, people will look at all of you today and say that you are leaders. You are people who made a difference wherever you found yourself. And guess who's the only person that can make that happen? Yourselves. You can decide not what your CV will look like or your resume, but what your reputation will be. And I hope that when you leave here today, you will establish reputations for yourselves as transformers, people who made a difference to lives and societies. Congratulations.
Thank you, President. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now coming to the end of the ceremony, which I hope has been enjoyable and memorable. The formal proceedings will close with the academic procession, and when this begins, I would ask those of you who can to stand and to remain standing until it has left. Sin deireadh le seirmeanais cógarm na chulscoile seo. Tá míid buíoch díobh as ucht we're bheith leortha linn. The convocation of the university is hereby concluded. Thank you for being with us, and I hope you will all now join the academics and graduates for refreshments and enjoy the rest of this very special day.
Is the most of